The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that...
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
You've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population. This place absolutely outshines it.
It's Wednesday, the 28th day of January. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airways with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman, and we'll have a news break from Teo Dill in a bit, brought to you by People's. How's everyone doing today? It's the middle of the traditional work week. Many of you call it Hump Day. A happy Wednesday, Hump Day to all of you. How's the things going? How is your final week of the first month of 2026 going? How's it treating you? Like, is your calendar year off to a great start? I want to know. Obviously, I had that the kidney stone thing, and couldn't have been a worse start. But I was thinking, 2 years ago in January, I had pneumonia. January is it's an interesting month. It's a very interesting month in terms of health. It's people get the flu and sick, and the weather isn't friendly to us. So yeah, it's an interesting month, but I really do hope that everyone's year is off to an awesome start. James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour family show. I'm watching from home. It's cold. Yes, stay warm out there, James, and to everyone, stay warm. It is not the warmest in terms of the temperatures, but do what you can to stay warm. Alrighty, folks. Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome back Justin Tavares from Bermuda Pest Control. We have these quarterly conversations, which are really informative. Today, we're discussing the year-round pests known as rodents, right? We may not have the mosquitoes and insects like we do during the summer, but unfortunately, rodents are year-round guests, aka pests. And we're going to learn a bit about how we can ensure that we keep them outside of our spaces, our living spaces, our workspaces. The daily play is music and entertainment today, so should be fun. But audience, do us a favor. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. I want to jump right into today's discussion. So last year I met with one of the most prominent businessmen in Bermuda, and really want to talk about something that many people quietly wonder about, especially every time they look at a receipt. Bermuda is expensive. Groceries, household goods, clothing, the cost does add up fast. And more Bermudians are turning to overseas shopping because it simply feels cheaper and easier. So it raised a fair question when speaking to this prominent business person last year. They were basically saying, could Bermuda benefit from large retail franchises like Walmart or Target coming to the island? And supporters say big retailers could bring lower prices through scale, more choice, and jobs while helping keep spending local instead of sending our dollars overseas. In a time of rising cost of living, that's not a small argument. But there's another side. Big retail can also change the character of a place. Small, locally owned shops already struggle, and a massive franchise could push some out entirely. There's also a real question about land use and traffic and infrastructure, and whether a big box model even fits on a small island like ours. So this isn't about loving or hating Walmart or Target. It's about balance. Do we prioritize lower prices at almost any cost, or do we protect local businesses, even if it means paying more? Is there a middle ground? Strict conditions, local supplier requirements, job guarantees that could make big retail work for Bermuda without wiping out what makes us unique. Truth is, Bermudians are already shopping with big retailers, just not on Bermuda's soil, right? So the questions of the morning for you all are very simple. What are your thoughts on allowing big retailers into Bermuda? And do you think big retailers could help lower prices in Bermuda? Do you believe that big retailers could help lower prices in Bermuda? Now, I don't favor it. I'm just gonna be very clear. I don't want to change your opinion on it. I don't favor it, but I want to go through some things. I'm going to be objective with this. So why this idea gets brought up about allowing big franchises like a Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens is Bermudians face high prices on everyday goods. There's limited local retail choices, a heavy reliance on imports with costly shipping and markups, and a trend where money leaks out of the local economy into online spending. Large retail chains in the US like Walmart and Target are known for bulk purchasing power, lower everyday prices, wide variety of products under one roof. So it's kind of fair to ask, would inviting a big franchise help lower prices, create jobs, and strengthen the local economy? Now, what are some of the potential benefits of these big franchises coming to Bermuda? Well, yes, lower prices through scale, right? Big retailers negotiate global procurement deals in theory that could possibly reduce prices on necessities, reduce Bermuda's reliance on costly small shipments, provide price transparency for consumers. Here's an example. Walmart or Target could stock groceries, home goods, clothing, electronics, and seasonal items all under one roof, making comparison shopping easier. Now, there's another, I guess, potential benefit is job creation. Larger stores require staffing, right? Sales, inventory, logistics, management. It could mean more jobs, entry-level employment, careers with training and advancement, opportunities for young Bermudians. And also keeping spending local. Like when people shop online with Amazon or US retailers, money flows out of Bermuda's economy. If goods were purchased locally at a big retailer, sales tax fees stay in Bermuda, more circulation of dollars within the local economy. And then there's the argument people always talk about variety. For many consumers, one-stop retail is attractive. Fewer trips, more choice, predictable pricing, especially for families and retirees managing budgets. Now, those are some of the potential benefits, but there's a lot of risk, and this is why I would oppose it. And as I sat with the business person last year when they were discussing it, I just said this would kill Bermuda, in my opinion. Not just culturally, but I just don't see how local entrepreneurs would be able to survive this. So, potential risk of something like this. The impact on local retailers. Small shops and long-established local stores already struggle to compete. A Walmart or a Target potentially could push some of them out of business, unintentionally hollowing out independent boutiques, specialty food stores, family-owned legacy businesses. This would reduce retail diversity and change the character of towns and different areas in Bermuda. Land and scale challenges. Bermuda is tiny. Massive big box stores require large parking areas, large building footprints, traffic management, our geography and real estate market make this difficult without significant planning and compromise. Cultural identity. Bermuda's retail landscape is part of its charm. Local crafts, local fashion, boutique experiences. Too much corporate presence can dilute our personality, our cultural heritage, our unique visitor experiences. This matters for both residents and tourism. Integration with local suppliers, like big chain central buying may prefer imported products, standardized goods versus, unless there's conditions that require a local supplier quota, right? Like you have to carry a certain amount of local goods or a percentage of shop space for Bermudian goods. Big retailers might not automatically support local producers, something Bermuda cares a lot about. Now, is there a middle ground approach that we can take with this? Well, if this idea was seriously considered, and any franchise entry would really need to be carefully negotiated with certain conditions, like local suppliers, right? You must require a certain percentage of store inventory come from Bermudian businesses and showcase Bermudian products. Workforce commitments, there has to be a local hiring quota, training and career investment, apprenticeship and pathways. Zoning and size controls, like, does it fit Bermuda's land constraints? It cannot dominate certain areas. Must support, an already strained public transit system, right? Price transparency, require publishing benchmarks so customers can see true competitive effects. And support for smaller retailers, introduce business development grants, retail innovation funds, cooperative marketing between big and small retailers. Again, I am not a fan. This is something I personally could not support. But when this was said to me last February, it made me think. And I'll tell you why I don't think it will work. Is Digicel not in Bermuda and many of the Caribbean islands? I'm pretty sure, and don't tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure MP Christopher Famous brought to our attention some years ago that particular company, and if I'm wrong, I will backtrack, but I'm pretty sure it was him that basically told us why are Bermudians paying more for their services than those in Caribbean islands? Meaning that although a Walmart and Target's prices may be cost effective and less expensive in Canada and the US and other areas, who's to say they're not going to match Bermudian, because they still have to pay their staff a certain amount, right? I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable, but I respect it when the business person shared this with me. I understood their goal was to bring prices down, but there's something bigger here. Again, audience, it's over to you. What are your thoughts on allowing big retailers like a Target, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens into Bermuda? And do you think big retailers could help lower prices in Bermuda? We've got Dr. Anthony Richardson. He says they can lower prices in the short term, pushing out local retail, then jack prices up now that local retailer no longer exists. Yeah, absolutely. That's a concern. That is an extreme concern. It reminds me of Uber, rideshare, right? When the rideshare companies first came out, they pushed that they were much cheaper than the yellow cab. It was better, this and that. You try getting one now, those prices are extreme. But remember, they always start like that. That's an excellent point, Dr. Anthony Richardson. Richard Scott, happy belated birthday, audience. Give President Richard Scott, Pastor Scott, give him a happy birthday wish. I'm just glad his birthday is this time of year and not during the summer, but happy belated, good brother. Hopefully you had a wonderful birthday and wishing you many more years of health and wealth. I'm going to read your comment from the side, Brother Richard. He says, definitely not in favor of overseas large retailers in Bermuda. They would change the social fabric, something we are already struggling with to hold on to. Yes, the prices could be lower, but culturally, the impact could have devastating consequences. In my opinion, not trying to be negative, but I really believe this wouldn't be a good thing for Bermuda. I agree, honestly. Oh, and I shouldn't have shared my opinion early. I usually want, but I appreciate people in spaces that I love, like entrepreneurs and business people. But this was an idea I gave a lot of thought to, and I just couldn't see how it made sense for Bermuda in the long term. In the short term, perfect. Prices may be lower. But I just could not see. And the other part about it is, when the person said, oh, it can create jobs. Folks, I've been in Target, and Target's had 22 cash registers there, and none were open, only the 4 self-checkouts. So it may sound good and start off great, but I just can't see how it would make sense. I don't think it would solve our problems in the long term. Monty BDA says big retailers will never enter Bermuda. The cost of business, labor, logistics is prohibitive. I would like to agree with you. And I say this respectfully and diplomatically as I can. Your government, if they truly believe that big retailers could help, they would do no different from what they've done with Fairmont Southampton. Concession after concession after concession. So the cost of doing business, labor and logistics, whether it's, oh, well, you don't have to pay employee tax or do that, they will find a way to bring them in to make sure it makes sense for them. So I agree with you, but if this is something the government wanted, they would do it. Manuela John says, we already have lost Trimmingham, Smiths, and Coopers. Could big retailers affect Gibbons Company, Gorham's, and Marketplace? Absolutely they would. And it would be sad to see. It would be sad to see. Regardless of how you feel about Gibbons or Gorham's or Marketplace, it would be sad to see. And for those folks who are not old enough to remember Trimmingham's and Smiths, and Coopers is not long ago, those were staples, man. When I worked in Bermuda tourism and would travel throughout the U.S., the first thing that many people ask, man, Birmingham's still open? I mean, that was a shop tourists just love to come and shop at. Folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Keep your comments coming. What are your thoughts? We're discussing, last year I had a conversation with a business person in Bermuda who thought that the solution to lowering prices in Bermuda was to allow big retailers like Walmart and Target into Bermuda. They said Bermudians are already shopping at these places, so why not allow them? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that it makes sense? And do you think big retailers could help lower prices in Bermuda? We've got Stacey Ann Brown says the cost of doing business in Bermuda is a lot higher. Salaries, utilities, and overheads are way different. Not sure this would be beneficial. Again, thank you, Stacey, because again, using Digicel as an example, I'm pretty sure, again, it was MP Famous, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. He told us a couple years ago, we pay more than they do in the Caribbean. And that's just simply comes down to overhead, right? It's more expensive to do business in Bermuda. But again, if government believe this is something that could work, we don't know what concession they'll give them, right? We don't know. Suzanne Ingham says, I don't like the idea of big shops here. We have Gorham's and Masters, but my concern is big shops will take from the little shops that are struggling. I don't agree with the foreign big boys landing on our shores. No. Well, we have the BAC group as well. We have People's Pharmacy. We have Lindo's. Right? I agree. Now, Gorham's and Masters would be competitive with like a Home Depot and a Lowe's. Target and Walmart will probably, and CVS and Walgreens will probably compete with the Lindo's and Marketplaces and People's and Phoenix stores and Brown and Companies. I just don't think it's the answer. I'm looking for someone in the audience to tell me I'm wrong, though, because I outside of that meeting with the business person, no one has really convinced me that this would make sense. And I'm very open because I'm not a genius in this space. I'm a learner. I'm a learner. We've got Michael Daniels says an alternative would be for local retailers to look into becoming outlets for big companies. Okay. That's a possibility. Richard Scott says, it may seem hypocritical coming from me as someone who lives in the US and shops at Walmart and Target, but this is not for Bermuda. Also, from a tourism standpoint, we look like another US jurisdiction, something tourists are looking to escape. Absolutely. Let me be clear. Richard and I are in that same boat in terms of what he just said. I do enjoy the prices that I do pay living in the US. I really do. But I also look at, I've lived in big cities and small towns, how small shops in towns have disappeared. I've seen how towns are fighting to keep these big retailers out throughout the US. I just don't see how this could work, would work, or why it should even be considered for Bermuda. And I understand that so many Bermudians go overseas and shop at Walmart and Target and Home Depot and Lowe's and all these places. And they, you got people on the social media. Oh, I paid this was $10 in Target, and in Bermuda it's $40. Right? I get all of that. But I want to say this to Bermudians, and I've said this before. Local retailers are not the big bad wolf. If you want to pay for something in Bermuda for the price that you get it for in the US, are you willing to take a pay cut to do that? And it's not necessarily so companies can make a whole big profit. That's not it. But as many people have said in the comments this morning, the overhead of operating a business in Bermuda is high. It's a lot. Let's go through these final few comments before we go to Teodil for the news break. Don't forget, we've got Justin Tavares coming on. Folks, you need to make sure you're tuned into this conversation, because you think Bermuda Pest Control, you think pests, and you're just thinking, oh, insects. No. We've got some other friends. Well, not friends, but you get me. Some things that like to pay us company when the insects are not around. Monty BDA says, the concessions government would be willing to give do not compete with the daily, weekly, monthly push for profit by the big retailers. They are ruthless on profit. The second a Bermuda store loses money for a year or more, it will be shut down. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you, Monty BDA. I don't disagree. But we never know what kind of, I don't work in government, but something that will stick with me for a long time, is the resignation of Curtis Dickinson regarding Fremont Southampton. We still don't know the exact word for word why. So I don't know what the government will offer to get businesses they really want here. We've seen the whole fintech, crypto, whatever it is called. Suzanne Ingham says, no one will convince you it's a good idea, because it's not a good idea. Common sense, no. Well, thank you. I appreciate your confidence, Suzanne. Kenton Trott says, to be honest, we don't have the customer base here. Some small towns have 200,000 people. We barely have 70,000. Let's support our local business. I agree. I'm interested to see if this business person who made the suggestion would be willing to come on the show to discuss it. That's what I'm very interested in. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, I've traveled to the Caribbean several times and hate the tidal wave of American retail. Swamping local businesses out of business is a very bad look, losing local culture. I agree. And we'll end it with Richard Scott. He says, the economies of scale would make it very difficult for the big boys to be in Bermuda at the same pricing as in the US. Absolutely, it would. You all have been awesome. Appreciate your contribution during this conversation. And I hope that you carry this conversation, because this business person who had this convo is very influential in terms of what goes on in Bermuda. They really, truly believe that this could help Bermudians. And I'm not convinced. But thank you all. This was your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure. If you appreciated this conversation, do us that favor. And whatever platform you are streaming on, make sure you give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Help us beat the algorithm, because what I don't want is this to be a topic of conversation months or years later. And then people are like, oh, I never even thought of this or heard of this, to oppose it. Get ready to stand up and represent. Also, Traveling Trotty says, happy birthday, President Richard. We've got also James Burgess says, happy belated birthday wishes to Richard Scott, Pablo. So we've got some birthday wishes out there for Richard Scott. All right, folks, let's give some thanks to Titan Express and Secure, and then we'll go to the news break with Teo. After that, we'll have our first commercial break, and then don't forget, we've got an incredible conversation coming up about rodents in Bermuda. And you know, I hate to say this publicly and on the internet, because we got some people that we'd love to invite to Bermuda. And they're not rodents. But they need to know we need to do what we need to do to keep the rodents at bay.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
Alrighty, let's get over to the Daily Hour News Break with Teo Dill.
Good morning, I'm Teo Dill, and welcome to your TDH News Break, brought to you by the great folks at Peoples. From prescriptions to daily essentials, Peoples Pharmacies, where wellness begins and community grows together. Around $30 million worth of illegal drugs were seized by the Bermuda Police Service over the course of 2025. This from BPS Commissioner Darren Simons during a live stream press event yesterday afternoon, where he explained the broader impact of this category of law enforcement activity.
And without a doubt, this has dealt a substantial blow to those persons seeking to profit from this crime. I want to make it clear that drug trafficking is directly linked to gun and gang crime. And targeting drug trafficking also disrupts those persons involved in some of our most violent crime.
And Commissioner Simons also noted that 25 arrests were made last year as a result of these drug seizure operations, while emphasizing that those numbers are not the sum total of what the police can take from confirmed drug traffickers.
That where we can, we will also seek to take the profits out of those crimes by seizing assets of corresponding value. So in other words, at a high level, there's been $30 million worth of drugs seized. There's the potential for us to look to recover $30 million worth of assets for those people that have profited and or been convicted from this crime.
And Bermuda's reinsurance market stayed solid in 2025, even if the headline number dipped slightly. According to the BMA, we recorded 58 new insurer registrations last year, just a scooch below 2024's 63 formations, but still very much in line with Bermuda's long-term trend. Last December was quieter than expected, with 4 new registrations after a stronger November that had raised hopes of a bigger year-end push. However, if you zoom out to a macro view, the picture looks steady as annual formations have consistently landed in the 60 to 75 range for nearly a decade. The important new detail is that the pipeline continues to look healthy, with several of the dozen new insurance applications from December likely to be converted into registrations sometime this quarter. And if you add the scale of the market, that is with ABIR members writing close to $180 billion in premiums, you can see why expectations remain quietly higher for 2026. And one of our aquarium's flagship features is getting comprehensively reimagined with the ongoing support of the government. As you can see here, the Bermuda Aquarium Museum and Zoo is experiencing repair and transformation efforts, particularly the North Tank upgrades. The process has been detailed for us to see in a newly published YouTube video from the Ministry of Public Works and Environment, narrated by Minister Joshay Adams, to explain exactly what's happening and why it all matters.
This includes everything from modernizing infrastructure and life support systems to enhancing key exhibits like the North Rock Tank. We're talking about better flow through the grounds, upgraded display areas, and more immersive storytelling about Bermuda's natural world. This investment isn't just about buildings and tanks. It's about education and conservation. It's about ensuring that BAMS continues to inspire young people to understand, protect, and appreciate the island we call home.
And today's weather should be a bit warmer and drier than yesterday, but chill, relax, not by all that much. Low pressure way off to the north will periodically intensify today's winds up to strong, while the overall skies will be dominated by sunny breaks with infrequent passing showers. Things will be less cold than yesterday, but still definitively chilly with a 63 to 58 degree air temp range. Tomorrow's likely to be pretty similar, particularly when it comes to the stronger than recently usual wind speed and intensity. And that's your TDH News Break, brought to you by our friends at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill. Now back to the show.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Tay. Credit to the Bermuda Police Service. It's so easy to criticize the Bermuda Police when things go wrong in our community. But I like something that, Commissioner, I did get to watch a bit of the press conference. Simon said, he thanked the public. Yes, it took a lot of police intelligence and so on, but he thanked the public. And again, I will continue to say that our role in police in our community is critical. Last year, Bermuda Day, when people were reporting and letting the police know that there were some folks riding around on a bike in dark helmets, and the police made the arrest and found a knife on these folks. That's the kind of stuff that we need. Our community is too small for us not to be looking out for one another the way that we should be. So credit to the community and Bermuda for, that's $30 million, a lot of money. Now, there's a downside that he spoke of where when the streets dry up, violence can happen. Again, look out for each other. Try to guide people who you love and who love you away from that life and to something more honest that can help them. I do have a strange question about something Teo was doing just now in his news. The North Rock tank is being cleaned out. And as I was watching that story, I was wondering where the fish were. I don't know if he said that part. I know that's probably the strangest thing. Like, why do they care? But yeah, I do. I was like, well, where'd they put all the wildlife? Animals that were in there, or the sea life or whatever. No, that's my niece. That's her favorite thing to do in Bermuda, go to the aquarium and look at fish in that tank. So hopefully it'll be back open soon. I haven't been to the aquarium in ages, but credit to everyone down there who keeps that attraction available and interesting to all of Bermuda. All right, for days of the year, folks, in the U.S. today is National Blueberry Pancake Day. So I want to ask you all, what is your favorite flavor of pancake? So I'm going to share something. So I was doing the Daniel fast. But I went to brunch a couple weeks ago, and I had a plantain. It's not a pancake. It's a plantain waffle. And it was just the most delicious thing. Now, I'm wondering if they just take the plantain and put it in a waffle maker and create a waffle. Like, you see all these videos on like TikTok and the grams and stuff, all this. But I don't know how they did it. But my favorite pancake based on that is going to be a banana pancake. What's your favorite pancake? What's your favorite flavor of pancake? Let us know, audience. We're going to take a quick break. After this message, we're going to be speaking with Justin Tavares from Bermuda Pest Control, and we're talking about keeping some all year round pests away. You do not want to miss this conversation. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Take a look at our workbook for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamel Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy. Big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. I asked before we went to break, your favorite flavor of pancake. I told you mine. I see some in the audience that made me think, I forgot about that one. Stacey Ann Brown says, love blueberry, also pumpkin caramel. Kenton Trott says, my mom's homemade pancakes, nothing compares. All right, folks, so we're heading to Kenton's house for mom's pancakes next month. I'm gonna let you know date, time. Yeah, we'll get there. Thanks for the invite, Kenton. Shelly Todd says, banana and pumpkin. Yeah, banana, man. Banana. Dr. Anthony Richardson says banana or blueberry. Okay. Manuela John says banana or chocolate chip pancakes. Okay. I've heard of them, but haven't tasted them. Suzanne Ingham says pumpkin. Julie Eve says banana. And Dr. Anthony Richardson says especially banana fritters with Canadian maple syrup. Okay, so he gave us the syrup too. All right, folks. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to invite Justin Tavares on from Bermuda Pest Control. Awesome. Justin's always given us like the information we need to keep our homes pest free. But before we get to that, we're going to ask him about his favorite pancake as well. Well, let's give a warm TDH welcome to Justin Tavares from Bermuda Pest Control, folks. Hey, Justin.
Hey, good morning, Jamal. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Well, before we jump into anything, I got to ask you, we're talking pancake flavors this morning. What is your favorite flavor of pancake?
I'm going to be honest, I'm more of a savory breakfast guy, but if I had to pick one, I would definitely say chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip. Okay, another chocolate chip. So I'm going to be real with you all. I don't really eat breakfast. I'm a smoothie guy. But if I happen to go to brunch, I will get me a little pancake or something like that. But I'm not big on breakfast. I know that's not good. But yeah. But Justin, thank you for doing this. As usual, quarterly conversations. I appreciate you. I assume that not everyone who's tuned in has watched every show previously, but just give the audience a bit of background about who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Justin Tavares. I'm the operations manager for Bermuda Pest Control. We're a one-stop pest control operation for any pest-related needs, whether that's termites, cockroaches, or rodents, anything in between.
Cool. So this time of year, it's kind of cold. I mean, I had people in the audience this morning saying, oh, it's freezing. And many people, we don't see insects like we do in the summertime, the warmer months. Rodents seem to stay away, but not rodents, but insects seem to stay away. But rodents don't, right? Rodents activity kind of increases during the cooler months. Why?
So just like us, rodents are mammals. They're warm-blooded. And just like us, when it's cold, we either bundle up or we go inside and turn on the heater. Obviously, they're not going to be able to bundle up any more than they already are. So they are also going to try to come into the places where it's warm and protected.
Mm-hmm. What kind of rodent, like what kind of risk do rodents pose to homes and businesses beyond just being a nuisance?
So there's like two components to that. There's the health risk because rodents can carry diseases. They can carry fleas, which, I mean, famously, Europe and the Black Plague was started by, fleas on rats that spread that disease. So that's always an issue. Also, their urine and their feces, not good for health either. Can affect those, especially with like asthma or breathing issues. Besides the like medical, there's also like the physical risks. So rodents' teeth never stop growing. So they're constantly chewing. They love to gnaw on things. So they can gnaw through almost anything. Especially they like to chew on electrical wires. So knock on wood, I haven't heard of any cases in Bermuda, but I know where there's been issues in the States and elsewhere where a rodent has like chewed through a wire and started an electrical fire. That's more on the extreme side, but it's definitely something that's possible.
Wow, I hadn't even thought of that. They don't know about getting electrocuted. But jokes aside, an audience, if you have any questions for Justin from Bermuda Pest Control, feel free to send your questions and comments through. I see one. I'll get to it as many as possible in a few. But rodents are not always going to be seen or heard, right? They're these little quiet, sneaky little creatures. What are some early signs that rodents may already be present on a property?
So some earlier signs are the droppings, the urine smell. Those become pretty prevalent. You might see gnaw marks where rodents have chewed on a piece of wood or a piece of plastic, something along those lines. And you can also, not too often, but every now and then you can hear them if they get into a house. You can hear a little skittering in the ceiling. It could also be birds, but it could also be rodents.
Interesting. What are some practical DIY steps homeowners and business owners can take right now to reduce the chances of rodent infestation during the cooler months?
So there are a few natural things that can be done. Rodents don't like the smell of cedar or peppermint. So getting those essential oils, putting them in areas where there's a possibility for rodents to enter. Let me just grab I've got a natural thing for rodents here. So having one of these around helps with rodents too.
Love it.
Yeah, she's decided to wander in. But no, seriously, cats and dogs can help with rodent control. There are, barn cats exist in other countries for a reason. Cats and dogs are very good at being natural predators of rodents. But a lot of what needs to be done is just exclusion and keeping them out. So rodents, like cats, have the ability to sort of compress themselves. So for a rat, they only need an entry point the size of a quarter, and mice need an entry point the size of a dime. So I mean, we all know how big or rather small a quarter and a dime are. That's going to be all they need to get in. As long as they can fit their head in, the rest of the body will follow.
Interesting. So okay, we see some droppings, we smell some stuff. When is it time? Because when I grew up, I remember like people would have traps all around their homes and to catch them. But when is it time to call in a professional from Bermuda Pest Control instead of trying to manage the problem on your own?
Like always, it's when your comfort level is, when you've reached your threshold. For some people, they are not afraid of rodents. They're cool to handle them themselves. Absolutely, do your thing. If you're the type that, you see a rat in your neighbor's yard and that's enough for you, that's a little too close for comfort, give us a call. Even if it's just for advice. If they get inside and you're having trouble getting them out, give us a call. But whenever you're no longer comfortable with the distance between you and the closest rodent, that's probably when you should give us a call.
Is it so? I always thought that rodents appeared for two reasons: either you're close to like a garden or something like that, or you pretty much are just have a lot of dirt around. Who's at higher risk for rodents? Like, do these creatures discriminate?
No, especially not in Bermuda. My house has I don't have any gardens. I don't have any issues with trash or anything like that. And I'm just close to the water. Now we still have rodents that, run along from across the rocks. I mean, I can look out my window every now and then and see them. I've seen them in commercial areas. We know that they're in Hamilton with sewers and all that sort of thing. We see them in remote areas. We see them every which part of the island. Bermuda has quite the rodent population currently.
Interesting. If you live in a specific area, are you less likely though? Like if you mentioned you're near the water, you still see them. But if you live is it an elevation thing? If the higher up you live, is it less of a chance, or it just doesn't matter?
It does not matter. If they're wanting to come to your house to visit, then they're going to do so. It doesn't matter if you're high, low, east, west, they're everywhere.
Interesting. That's so interesting. Let's go to the audience. Audience, if you have any questions, send them through. I just want to know, audience, and I know this may seem personal, but has anyone noticed rodent issues at their workplace or around their neighborhood? Like, have you come across anything? We've got a question from Traveling Trotty. She says, what's the best way to get rid of those white spiders showing up in our cars lately?
So that would depend on what I saw the quotes. That would depend on what the spiders actually are. If it could be a number of things. It could be actual spiders. It could be a type of mite, which would be caused by humidity and just sort of that moisture buildup. Best thing to do is if you've got them, take a picture if you can, or if not, come visit us. We can give an identification and talk treatment if necessary.
Got a question here. Manuela's asking, is there anything that pest control can do to owners of abandoned properties? Because some abandoned properties may attract, these rodents, right?
Yeah. So we've been asked that before. I've had people say, oh, my neighbor's house, it's rotting away. And I know they've got rodents. Can you come and put out some poison around their property or whatever you guys need to do? And unfortunately, no, we don't have permission to do that to private property. We can only help protect your property in that situation.
Okay. The questions are coming, Justin. We're talking to Justin Tavares from Bermuda Pest Control, if you're just tuning in. But we've got another one. Kathy Del Hayward says, question for you. Why not get rid of rodents at first sight? Why not get rid of rodents at first sight?
I mean, there's no reason not to get rid of rodents at first sight. It's purely somebody's comfort level. Some people are of the mindset that, they can handle it themselves. And if they see it, okay, it's just, some people consider it a natural part of being in Bermuda. So it really just depends on a person's tolerance.
Ellen Kate Horton says, I see them in our palm trees. If you, and I know you said, it doesn't matter if you have a garden or you live near the water, trash or whatnot, but are we more likely, if we do have gardens and trees, to have more than the average person? Or it really doesn't matter?
So yes, especially if you have banana trees, that's basically their favorite plant. But when you have a garden, when you have trees and that sort of thing, it can possibly give more grounds for them to breed and to nest in. It's not a guarantee. There's still a possibility that you could have a beautiful, full, lush garden and not see any rodents. But it does give a better chance of that happening.
Interesting. Banana trees. If you have banana trees, that's their favorite fruit. Thank you for that. We've got Michelle White says, how on earth they get their big head in that small hole? Are you proactive in identifying a rodent problem in public spaces?
So I've got this guy. Like I was saying earlier, it's just the size of their head that matters. the rest of their body can squish down and fit into those spaces. It's a strange thing. Same thing with cats. People joke about cats being liquid and fitting into whatever space. Rodents can do the same thing. As far as being proactive in public spaces, not us personally. We are a privately owned company, and we work with homeowners and business owners on private terms. Public spaces is more to the discretion of vector control, which is the government pest control. That's part of the health department.
Indeed. We've got Kenton Trott. He's asking, he said, would you say that the rodent population has increased in the last 20 years? I don't remember so many rats/mice when I was growing up. I guess the question is, there have been, numerous videos on social media and reports, and people are seeing rodents like never before in Bermuda. What from your professional expertise, what leads to an increase in rodents?
Yeah. So I haven't been back on island for the full 20 years. I've been back here for about 10 or so, but I've already seen an increase. I saw the biggest increase when we switched from twice a week trash days to once a week. And, I completely understand government's reasoning for doing so. But that has led to an uptick in rodents because then it falls to a lot of personal responsibility. People have trash. And when you're going from, twice a week collection to once a week, it starts to build up. So I've seen people put out trash on a Tuesday and their trash pickup was Monday and they missed it. And it's just going to sit out there for a week and be, chewed up by rodents. People that, if you don't have a trash can on property, you fill up a trash bag, you put it outside, even if it's not in a public area, it can still attract the rodents. And even those with trash cans, I've been to houses where they're like, yeah, I put all my trash in a trash can, and the rodents have chewed straight through the plastic to get to the trash. So that to me has been the biggest cause of the uptick in rodents that we're seeing in Bermuda.
Interesting. We've got Renee Simmons says, first time we noticed our avocado is bitten up by rats. Never seen that before. What can people do who have like banana trees and avocado or gardens? What can they do to reduce the chances of rodent infestation? And would they be calling Bermuda Pest Control to help with a problem like that?
So typically when we see people having issues in their gardens, we recommend exterior baiting. So you can call us, you can call Vector Control, who's the government pest control. They also do this sort of service where we can come and place bait stations around the property in areas that are discreet, that aren't going to be affected by people or what we call non-target pests. So just the mice and the rats are going to find them. And that's a good way to lure them away from your fruits and vegetables and sort of take care of the issue without really drawing them close to your property and to your fruits.
Got you. Okay. We've got Michelle. I promise I'll let you go, Justin, but they're into you, man.
That's fine.
What if when service a client, you discover the origin is from the public space? Do you reach out to Vector Control, or would it be the homeowner's responsibility?
That's a tough one. So ultimately, it is the homeowner's responsibility. Like I was saying earlier, you get the abandoned houses where there's a rodent population that nobody's there to take care of it, that sort of thing. Ultimately, it is the responsibility of the homeowner. Giving the call to Vector Control if it is more of a public space, if it's a cul-de-sac sort of situation and there's a house that's on the cul-de-sac, that's an issue, but you want to see if we can get the actual cul-de-sac protected.
Interesting.
They're the ones that would handle the public space issues like that.
Okay. We've got James Burgess says, put plastic bags over bananas. Yeah, I've seen that in the Caribbean. Justin, for those who are tuned in today, what would you say is the single most important thing they can do to keep rodents out year round?
The best thing to do is just keep up with maintenance on the property. Like we were saying earlier, rats could fit into a hole the size of a quarter. Mice can fit into a hole the size of a dime. It's making sure that, we're keeping an eye on our properties, seeing where those gaps are and getting them patched up and sealed up. Important thing to note, not with expansion foam. I've seen people try that and rodents will just chew right through that. not with anything cloth related. If you have a hole that you need to patch, you need to use either some strong gauge wire mesh or better yet, concrete, because they're not going to be able to shoot through that as easily.
Indeed, Justin. How can people reach out to Bermuda Pest Control if they want a quote or just get some more information about rodent infestation in Bermuda?
Sure. We've got a few different ways. You can give us a call, 232-7378. If you want to visit us at our office, we're at 1510 Penn Crescent, which is in Warwick, up the hill from the bowling alley behind the pharmacy. We just launched our updated website recently, and that's got a bunch of information on the rodents that we have in Bermuda, services we offer, some fun facts about rodents, but there's also a contact us section there. Or if you want to shoot us an email, just email us at info@pestcontrol.bm.
Justin, thank you so much. Always appreciate the conversation, the information. Look forward to next quarter, man. This was a good one.
Absolutely.
And, next time we'll be getting ready for those warmer months. So have a wonderful day, and we'll be in touch soon.
You as well. Sounds good.
All righty. Justin Tavares, folks, if you appreciated that information, if you found the conversation helpful, if you're streaming with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter X, LinkedIn, Instagram, give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure everyone you know who has access to these most important community conversations as possible. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back. We've got a daily play for you, and it's going to be music related. Stick with us. We'll be back in a few.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Every space has a message, whether it's a store, a government office, or a doctor's waiting room. With Store Tunes Radio, transform your environment with customized music and professional messaging that keeps people informed, engaged, and at ease. Easy to use, built for organizations of every kind. Powered by Bermuda Communications Group. Store Tunes Radio, the soundtrack to better customer experiences. Visit storetunesradio.com to learn more. All righty, welcome back to the big show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by our friends at the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy. Big shout out to Hot 107.5 for ensuring we can pump through the radio airways with these most important community conversations. Thanks again to Justin Tavares and Bermuda Pest Control. This is why this show exists, to answer questions for you all, to help with issues that are impacting our daily lives. So thanks again to all the folks at Bermuda Pest Control and Justin for engaging with us on a regular basis. We've got Catalina Stoverwood. She was asking, does Justin feel rodents are more brazen? He goes on to say, rats used to hide and dash if people were around, but rats will come out in broad daylight and walk, about unfazed. That's like New York, man. Living in New York, the rats act like they're just another person in the subway. Like they be walking next to you like, hey, how your day going? Like, had a good day at work? Yeah, I think Bermuda might have the New York problem. Gerald Bean also says, I think that with many people feeding cats, the rats go free. Possibly, right? Cats already full. I don't want to get into that. All right, folks, it's time for your daily play. Brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Bermuda Trivia Black History Edition will be back in stores very soon, as well as the brand new Sports Edition. So you want to follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, are you ready? It's music related today. And this is an easy question. Cher made her big comeback in 1998 with what song? The buzzer, Stacey Ann Brown. It is Do You Believe in Love? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, it is Shikarina. Believe. It is Believe. You are correct. That was a hit, man. I was on a cruise that year. I think it was that year, what, 99. On a cruise, and that was all they were playing, that song. And I had no idea who Cher was at the time. But yeah, it is Believe. All right, folks, we got to wrap it up. Got to let you all go. But before we do, as it relates to this morning's discussion, I love engaging with you about topics that we aren't having conversations about regularly. When we discuss the cost of living and cost of goods and shopping in Bermuda, we often think that it's just retailers or grocers or people we pay money for goods and services are big bad wolf. There's so much that goes on it when it comes to the cost of living, the overhead, the operation cost, the labor, and the like. I just have not been convinced that allowing big retailers into Bermuda's market is a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. That's where I stand. I'm happy to learn more, to understand why it may make sense, but at present, I just don't see how it would help Bermuda in the short and long term. As it relates to the conversation with Justin, I'm grateful. I hope that you all learned something this morning, how to protect your homes from rodents. They can cause extreme sickness. I know about this. I know someone who is impacted by it. If you see them, if you want to do something about it, hopefully the information this morning that you received can help you with that. Again, thanks again to Bermuda Pest Control and Justin for bringing these most important community conversations and the information that they're bringing. And I really hope that you, the audience, benefit greatly from it. Daily inspiration, we're just going to turn to a page and pick a quote. Alrighty. This is from Shanakaya. Shanakaya. And it's, quote, "Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourselves," end quote. I like that. Do what you will with that, but I love that. Alrighty, folks. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.